must have been late in the afternoon, one day at the end of August, when Moomin Troll and his mother arrived at the deepest part of the great forest. It was completely quiet, and so dim between the trees that it was as though twilight had already fallen. Here and there giant flowers grew, glowing with a peculiar light like flickering lamps, and furthest in, among the shadows, moved tiny dots of cold green. "Glowworms," said Moomin Mamma, but they had no time to stop and take a closer look at them. They were out, searching for a snug, warm place where they could build a house to crawl into when winter came.
She wrote it in the beginning of the 1940s, during the Winter War. And at that time she was very busy doing political cartoons in a magazine called Garm. And in Garm she used a sort of double signature named Tove, and then she created a little figure that she called Snork. And that's an early version, you can say, of a Moomin Troll. And then this signature stepped into a story, you might say. There's homelessness, and there's a threat of annihilation, also the catastrophe, of course, the Great Flood. There are refugees in this story, so you can see how the war, I think, have influenced her. But then there's a happy end. It's a children's book, after all. She says in her diaries, we dreamed about a construction of a happy society and another world. And perhaps you might say that the Moomin world is a form of realization of this dream. A very important purse plays a very important part in this book, because in this purse she has things that you might need unexpectedly. There's chocolate, but there's aspirin, and there's also a corkscrew. She uses it to open a bottle that the father has put in the sea, to where he says SOS, because he wants them to come to rescue him. She saves the family, you might say. In the beginning it's a mother and her son, and then they meet a little animal, it's Sniff, and he gets into the family, and that's very typical for the Moomin family. It's a very flexible concept. And also, you must care for others. There's a scene in this book where Moomin Mama and Moomin Troll, they're saving a cat and her kittens, and that's very important to them, because it's a mother like herself.
The thing that was lurching towards them was an upholstered armchair. Sometimes it got caught in the treetops that stuck up out of the water, but was pulled free by the current and went drifting on. In the chair sat a wet cat with 5 equally wet kittens around her. "Poor mother!" cried Moomin Mama, and she jumped out into the water all the way up to her waist. "Hold on to me and I'll try to catch them with my tail."
This story is about a family who is divided and is trying to get together again. And they have no home, and they're trying to find somewhere to live. And that's a story you can read about every day, all the time. So it's timeless.